Welcome to the It Works Diamond Center. You are in a leased office space by some leaders in the area. My wife and I work back here. Brandon and Denise Walsh are leaders in the area. They've got offices here. Chris and Carla Burns have an office. Carol and Scott Percy. Dave and Debbie Sasick. And Melissa and Sean Allen. We just kind of got together. We wanted to have a professional place to be able to meet, to have trainings such as this, or to have wrap parties, or and it's available, you know, not open door, but if you have an opportunity that you'd like to bring some people together in a situation like this, then get with the leader that pertains, whatever your sponsor is. You want to be able to use this to be able to build your business. And you are at an It Works Roundtable meeting. We have these. We try and have these every third Thursday. That's kind of what we aim for. We have a special guest speaker tonight, and his schedule made it for the fourth week of the month, but that's fine. Sometimes we'll have them on Wednesdays because there's softball. You know, we try and move it around, but also keep it as consistent as we can. Get with your sponsor and try and get on that email chain to know when these take place. But again, we aim for the third Thursday of every month. And we primarily have three goals when we do this. Number one, we want to give an opportunity for training for a new rep, or even a rep like myself, to be able to learn from the CEO and owner of the company. So it's training first. It's also a great chance for you to bring someone interested in the business to come and see what it's about. They can mostly learn about the money. We usually talk about the business a lot more than we do on products, but obviously the wrap is what drives the company, and we get a ton of credibility from the supplements, so we do talk about those from time to time. But usually it's about money. Third thing that we try and do is we try and specifically address, you know, the fact that a guy can do this, and how can a guy do this, and we brainstorm and we try and come up with ways that we can do it. The latest one, the hottest one for me right now is DiamondWorks Pro. Finally went live this last week. It's been, I think, live for 2 or 3 days, and I've got 8 good leads, one of which was an actual applicant that filled out the application and is one step from signing up. It's just a matter of us following up now and you know, getting the message to her to get her to sign up. So at the end of these meetings, we usually end up debating placement and how to build this and what's the smartest way to do it. And that kind of got us to ask owner, CEO, and Mark Pentecost if he could come in. He's the one that created this. You know, he'll talk about how it's a hybrid. He's got the experience from networking in the past, and he built this compensation plan, I think, so that we can have immediate and really good success. He knew that in the long run, he'd be a lot better off if he had distributors that stuck around. So our compensation plan, when it's tested time and time again, stands up against others. You know, we've got, for example, up in Shepherd, a really good leader in a different romance type company. And she has worked so hard for so long. She does 30 parties a month. And she was making maybe $5,000 a month doing that. Came and got a hold of her through Facebook, talked to her about, if you had 30 parties a month with It Works and worked as hard as you did with It Works, you know, you'd be well into $70,000 a month, $60,000 a month, you know, a year from now, whenever she built it. And she's well on her way. She's already emerald in 1 month, so we're really excited about her. But anyway, tonight I've asked Mark to come in and specifically talk about compensation plan. He's going to kind of hopefully give kind of an opportunity type discussion about it. So what I'm looking for from this is I'm going to jot things down that I know I can get. When I get past that 30-second commercial, when I get into a conversation with a couple, how can I really sell this to a guy business-wise? Why is our compensation plan, why is the money better at It Works than anywhere else? Why is network marketing in general the best way to create wealth right now? So that's the kind of things that I'm going to be looking for. We do want to keep it a round table atmosphere. Usually we meet in there and it's a table and we kind of all chime in. At any time, if you have a question, make sure you raise your hand and get what you can get out of tonight. I always, you know, I used to coach and I'd go to a coaching clinic and I would make sure I met with the guy afterward or asked questions. If you don't go out of here with something that will specifically help you build your business, you know, make sure you give yourself every opportunity to do that. So I'd like to bring up and introduce Mark Pentecost, CEO and owner of It Works Marketing. Thank you, sir, for coming tonight.
Hey, sir. Good. Glad to be here. Really glad when so many people I don't know. Actually, we started this. It was Chris and Nathan and Larry and Dave and I think Brandon. That was about it. So glad to see a bunch of you here. And and growing. We just got off a city tour, which was us taking corporate out on just a tour. We did it here in the United States to start with, but we went to West Palm Beach last Wednesday, and then we went to Greensboro, North Carolina Thursday, and then Friday night we were in Greenville, South Carolina. And Chris went with me back here, and a group from the office, and it was a lot of fun for me to get out and realize what a difference we're making out with people right now. I mean, the economy's tough. It's a tough economy, and you know, we were in a different city every night, but we were hearing the stories, and it was the same stories, just how tough it is. You know, people have been with a job forever and is laid off. Somebody's just got out of college with all these degrees and can't find a job, and people have the drive and just feel like they can't find the vehicle. And it was good for me just to look them eye to eye and really hear their stories and get me a little excited about what we're doing here at It Works. And you know, I'll give you I want to give you just a little basis of myself and the company, and then I'll go into compensation and we'll open it for questions and that. But you know, I think like with Nathan and Chris here and Dave too, just their stories also. I mean, a lot of times I would tell my story. I was a teacher coach. I coached varsity basketball down in Allegan. I don't know if you guys know where Allegan is, but you know, I was a teacher coach, and I had 3 kids, and I was frustrated. My wife wanted to stay at home with the kids and raise them, and I wanted her to be able to do that, but we couldn't afford it. We always had a month left when the money was gone. I think there's a country song about that or something, 2 months a month and not enough money or something like that, and that's the way we were. You know, my girls would say, my daddy can do it, and I'm like, I don't know how to do it. You know, I don't know how to, I could be the best teacher in the world, and they paid me the same amount of money as the next one. And, you know, there was only so many hours in a day, and I got into a home-based business. I had never done something like this, and a guy talked to me about it, and I said, I'm too busy, I didn't have time. I was, you know, I'm coaching, we had 2 games a week, and teaching, and our kids, and life, it just was too busy. And I told this guy, no way. And the guy called back again, and he said, man, you got to look at this. And I said, I told him I'm too busy. And he goes, yeah, but you're going to keep doing the same thing. He said, the definition of insanity is to do the same thing day after day, but expecting or wanting a different result. I got to thinking, yeah, that's true. You know, I'm not doing anything different, so why would it be different in the end? Well, I said, all right, Dad, I'll listen. And it was my dad. So, you know, I looked at a home-based business, and it made sense to me. One, I could be my own boss. There was no ceiling. So if I wanted to work harder than the guy next to me, I actually could make more money. And I like that. I'm kind of a competitive person, and I had some drive, and I wanted, you know, wasn't afraid of work, just show me how to get paid. I think there's a lot of people like that today. So we went to work, and our goals in the beginning wasn't real big. We were going to try and make $500 a month and pay off some credit card bills. And then it went a little bigger, and the guy said to me back then, what would it take for you to go full time? Well, that was almost too much for me to even dream that. I mean, I wanted that so bad that I was afraid to dream that because I didn't want the disappointment. And I said, well, I don't know. I'm teaching. I make about $40,000 a year teaching, coaching. I don't know. If I made $5,000, I'd quit. He goes, right now, sign your name, $5,000, you walk out the door. And I said, well, 6, because, you know, I had to work summers and pay for my benefits. He goes, $6,000. And I said, well, 10. 10, and I would walk out the door. But I never thought I could get close to that. Well, we hit 10, and he called and said, hey, when you quitting? And I go, I know. It's just, we get caught in the security thing where we're thinking, you know, I get a paycheck, and I got benefits, and it was hard for me to say, I'm going out on my own. But yet I look back now, and I think of all these, like my dad worked for GM forever. You know, they cut his benefits, they cut his money. There is no security in these big companies now. That was the dream back, the generation before us, was stay with the same company and they'd be great. So we walked out. You know, I always say the good Lord has a sense of humor because my income had kept climbing. And I left in December, right in the middle of teaching. I was 18-2 coaching that year. And I had everyone back. I didn't have a senior on my team. I had every kid back. So when I walked in and said, I can't coach this year, they're like, what's going on? You know, coaches don't quit when they're 18-2 to get everybody back. And I just said, this business is starting to explode on. So I left in December. January, my income went down, first time.